Welcome to another Coil Chat. And today I wanted to talk about everything we know about Gene Hackman, his wife, and his dog's untimely death. I mean, this case has just been crazy to read about, and it's still ongoing. The investigation is still ongoing. We don't know exactly what happened, and I think it's going to be a minute before we find out. I wanted to go through it, wanted to talk about it, everything we do know, and then I want, to hear, I guess, your conclusion or what you think happened, because again, right now we're still kind of guessing. So the first thing I want to talk about is Gene Hackman. If you don't know who he is, renowned actor. He was born January 30th, 1930 in San Bernardino, California. And he was celebrated for his versatile performances across a career spanning decades. Like, he has done so many roles. He's received 2 Academy Awards, Oscars, and then he retired from acting in 2004. But he continued to engage in writing, authoring several novels. He kind of then just lived a quiet life in New Mexico. He was there with his much younger wife. He was 95. His wife was 65. But on February 26th, he was found deceased alongside his wife, Betsy, and one of their dogs at their residence in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now, the couple had not been seen for several days prior to the discovery. I think a lot of people are frustrated about that because Gene has 3 kids, I believe, and everybody was like, why wasn't he checked on? But when they're doing well and stuff, and you don't live by your parents, maybe it wasn't the thing for you to check up on them all the time. Like, obviously we need to give them a little bit of grace. The discovery came from when one of their yard maintenance guys knocked on their door. Usually they were always home, and so they thought it was weird. They were able to they called for a welfare check. The police were able to get into their home, and then they made the discovery that Gene, his wife, and their dog had all passed away. An initial investigation reveals that there's been no signs of forced entry, external trauma, or foul play. And carbon monoxide poisoning was also ruled out as a case of death. They did testing. The gas company came out and said that they did testing, that there was no signs of a gas leak, and there was no signs of carbon monoxide. Now, some people I have seen comments say carbon monoxide dissipates very quickly, so an autopsy will obviously rule that. But again, the gas company is claiming that they don't believe that is, and it has been ruled out as a cause of death. Now, autopsy and toxicology reports are pending to determine the exact cause. Now, what's crazy is that their bodies were not found together. Gene Hackman's body was found in the mudroom, and her body was found in the bathroom. And there was a couple of things that they found. They found an open bottle of pills that were spilled out. Again, they haven't released what those pills were or what they were for. And then they also found a heater, one of those little space heaters that had fallen and was right next to her, knocked over. But then Gene Hackman, they found nothing next to him, but they were far apart. And then the dog, a German Shepherd, was found locked in his crate in a room right next to the bathroom. So 3 separate places, no rhyme and reason or connection to that they can find just by looking at him to why. I'm pretty certain that they believe that the dog died from starvation. It had been days, if not weeks, that these bodies had been there. It makes no sense. There was signs of mummification on Gene's wife, which means that she had been there for several days. And again, a lot of people are in an uproar. They're like, why wasn't anybody checking up on him? But think about it, Gene, if they were both 95, it would absolutely make sense that the kids would need to be checking up on him and making sure. But Gene's wife was, again, only 65. I think that's the biggest thing is what happened to her. Like, why did she pass away? The pills are probably going to be like, was she having some kind of episode, went to get her pills, couldn't get them in her. She fell, was passing away. Gene went to help her and slipped and fell. But again, they say that there's no signs of outward trauma. So again, it's all just very, very weird. The Oscars that were on this last week at the Academy Awards, Morgan Freeman delivered an emotional tribute to Hackman. And obviously that came in right at the last minute because this just happened. Now we're having to wait autopsy reports. Initial medical findings will be out fairly soon, but toxicology takes months. So it's going to be, if, the medical examiner, they'll be able to see and most likely rule this is how they died, whether it was cardiac arrest, acute trauma to the head, or, we'll be able to find that. But then if they want to know if there was drugs in their systems or what happened, then that's going to be a few weeks until we know what is happening. There's been a lot of people that have said she had an episode, he wasn't doing well, so he went to help her and something, and maybe it caused him, the stress caused him to have a cardiac event. Just heartbreaking, and it's going to be very, very interesting to find out what actually happened. And I want to know, leave in the comments, what do you think happened? Let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. Love to talk about it on our channel.